Hello friends, welcome back to Matlab. Today we are going to learn about GUI or Graphical User Interface. So what is Graphical User Interface? A user interface is a graphical display in one or more windows containing controls called components that enable a user to perform interactive tasks. The user doesn't have to create a script or type commands at the command line to accomplish the task. Now, how does a GUI works? Typically, UIs wait for a user to manipulate a control and then respond to each user action in turn. Each control and the UI itself has one or more callbacks named for the fact that they call back to the Matlab to ask it to do something. Now, how does a UI works internally? Assume that there is a push button in your UI. There is a program written in a script for it. So after pressing the button, it hits the program and accordingly the program, it processes a process and according to that, it generates a output. Now, how to create a GUI? So there is two methods to create a GUI. First by writing program and second by using the guide tool in Matlab. So what are the basic components of GUI? The basic components are push button, slider, radio button, checkbox, edit text box, static text box, pop-up menu, list box, toggle button, table and accesses. So these are the basic components typically used in a UI. Now we will see how to make a GUI in Matlab. So at first I shall show you an example of a GUI that I have made earlier. This is a program written in a script, but you don't have to worry about that much. So I am simply gonna run it. So this is a interface that I have made. So here is a frequency box. So I am gonna need a wave of frequency of 50 and I'm gonna need a sine wave. So run it, then click on sine. Now you can see there is a wave created in the UI, but you cannot distinguish it as a sine wave. So reduce the frequency as 5, then we are again gonna run it. Now we are gonna need a wave of cos of same frequency. So simply press the cos button and for tan wave simply press the tan button. So how this happens? So as I stated earlier, if you press a push button on that UI, it hits a program written in a script. So here is a program. So before making a UI, you have to know about some syntaxes. The syntaxes are opening function. So you can notice there is written test over here. It is my file name. So before the opening function, your file name written over here. So this opening function contains the function that requires during the opening, and if you scroll it down, you locate output function. It contains the output function template. Now if you further scroll it down, you notice there are callbacks written for every component that I have used in my UI. So I have used 3 push button in my UI, a static box and an edit box. So in UI there are 3 syntaxes that are H object. It is used for the handle to the UI component. Next, the event data. It is a variable for storing the mouse or keyboard actions. Next, the handles. It is a struct or a structure that contains handles to all objects in the UI. Now, let us create a UI. For creating a UI using the guide tool, you have simply write guide in the command window. Now press enter. Now choose the blank GUI in create new GUI column. Now press OK. Now we are gonna need access for the GUI. So click on access, drag it over here and then enlarge it. Next we are gonna need a static box. So simply drag and drop. Next an edit text box. Next, three push buttons. So simply Control C and Control V for it. Now we are gonna change the name of these components. I'm gonna name it as a frequency. Next, keep it blank for the edit text box. Next, name it as sign. Next, change the name of these two push buttons accordingly. Now it is done. Now save the UI. I'm gonna name it as test 2. Now save it and you see the script opens automatically. Now in the opening function we have to declare every variable that can be used in the program ahead. Now we are gonna need a time variable, so I am denoting it as a t and I am gonna declare it in 0 to 10 in the interval of 0.01. Next we are gonna need the frequency and if you remember we are abstracting the frequency from this edit box. So the name of the edit box is edit1. So we are gonna need this handle. So here type get and the handle of the edit box. So the handle of the edit box is a handles.edit1 and we are gonna abstract the string of it. So type the string here. Next we need it as a double. So here type a function string to double. This function makes double data type whatever abstracting from this function. Next we are using another variable but it is not necessary here. Now we are gonna declare the variables for handles. So type in handles dot plot1 for sine plot. So declare here sine and as well as cos plot. And similarly for tan plot. Now we are gonna use these handles in the push button handle. So Here type in the plot command for plotting of the various waves. So here use the sine handle and next grid on, and similarly for the push button 2, use the plot command and then handle of cos, next grid on, and for push button 3 the tan command, and at last the grid on. Now we are done, so save it and then run it, and here enter the frequency 50 and then run again. Now this is the frequency curve for the sine, and then reduce the frequency and again run it. Now you can clearly visible the sine wave, now the cos wave and the tan wave. So in this video you have learned how to make GUI in Matlab on your own. So try making different type of GUIs and comment in the description below for any further assistance.